G'day and welcome to the Investor Motivation Podcast, Christmas New Year edition, is it?
Yeah, kind of.
Where are your antlers, Amy?
I know, I forgot. I've been wearing antlers around the office all week, but no,
Cool.
must have gone and not brought them back.
I can confirm that she took the bells off because she's so agreeable and it was getting really loud and really annoying really regularly.
Even when I was typing, my head must bobble a little bit when I type, and it was just tingling. And Ashish, I share an office with, I was just getting annoyed, so...
They had to go.
Yeah.
What are we chatting about today, Amy?
Because we are approaching the new year and, we love talking about goal setting and power of that, I thought we'd do a Ways to Win 2024 podcast, and we will discuss, making good habits, the type of goals people are making and why they maybe are failing, and ways that, you
Cool.
can actually not even achieve goals, but just build great habits for life.
Right, and this can be financial and also well-being orientated, you're thinking?
Yeah.
And there is a crossover?
Definitely. I think, we're very passionate about the crossover that wealth has with our mental health, with the way we treat other people, definitely everything.
Fantastic. All right, let's kick on into it. But first of all, acknowledgement of land, which you have memorised beautifully. So continue on.
Sure. On behalf of the Investor Motivation Podcast, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we record this podcast and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging.
Beautifully done. All right, where do we start, Amy?
I think actually before we start.
Start?
I've got a good Christmas joke.
Right, okay, we're following up on the Christmas joke from the other week, the Christmas tree one.
The Rob Christmas inappropriate tree joke.
Yes.
Hopefully I actually haven't listened to that podcast, but hopefully the editor didn't cut it out.
I do inappropriate well, but it's now your turn to be inappropriate.
All right. Why is Christmas just like your job?
I don't know, Amy. Why is that?
You do all the work and the fat man gets all the credit.
Is he in a suit?
Fat man in the suit gets all the credit.
Fantastic. That is a very sweet one, isn't it? Very good. So, ways to win in 2024. Obviously resolutions are something that people often do. I'm not a big fan of having to just think about this in New Year's. For me, it's a progressive learning over the year to change habits, either financial or physically or diet or exercise.
Yeah.
It is a good corner to have to think about it.
Yeah, it's good that, for people that maybe don't think about personal development all the time as you do, that there is a trigger once a year to review that and think about how you want to be better. When I was preparing for this, I thought, what are actually the key areas in life that people probably think about? And the 5 I thought of the 4: health, your connections, which is family and friends, just relationships, career or business, wealth, so money, and then hobbies.
Nice.
So 5.
So
I added the hobbies at the very end because I just thought, I don't know, those 4 things are, very core, but what's the fun?
Yes.
And that's your hobbies,
Absolutely. And I suppose at our core, for everyone, life is about, it's not just about accumulating wealth for old age.
No.
It's about fun, it's about hobbies, doing things that we enjoy.
Yeah.
But I suppose New Year's resolutions are absolutely famous for just being that, a resolution that, great idea and then doesn't get done. And I went to the gym this morning and we were chatting about, my personal trainer, Keith, and I were talking about, memberships. And back in the day, he used to run, a very big gym here in Horsham. And he said the people would, on average, last about 6 weeks. Yeah. So they'd do that, chasing the summer body, at the end of spring. Yeah. So you're pretty close to summer. And they'd get the membership, they would feel good 6 weeks, and then they would peter off. That was sort of the average.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of these New Year's resolutions, how do you make it a habit that lasts beyond 6 weeks?
Well, yeah, and that's probably, whenever I've thought about New Year's resolutions, it's always been it's more been a goal to me. I have, in 6 months' time, I want to have this much money in my account or whatever, or go on this holiday this year. So it's had an end, and then when it ends, it's over.
Yes.
So there's no forming of that habit, and it might not be 6 weeks that goal is, but when I get there, it's done.
Yeah.
So for these people, it's obviously I want to have that summer body by summer, and then it's done. Gym membership ends.
Yeah.
But I think if you have a goal like that, if you want it to actually sustain itself, making that a habit, and then once that goal's over, and continuing that habit, so you don't have to set the same goal next New Year's to have the same, to achieve the same goal and then stop.
Yep.
It's definitely all about that habit forming.
Right. So, and stacking habits is a thing people talk about. And for me, when it comes to going to the gym, where I'm meeting someone there at a specific time each week, or how many times you do it, that's a very good way to make sure that habit happens. You are meeting a mate at the stairs down at the showgrounds, which I do on Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings. I'm meeting someone there, so you're a bit committed. Yeah,
and then that also, even it might not be a goal, but it brings you back to that connections thing that everybody needs in life, and it's two birds, one stone.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously this chat doesn't need all to be about finance and wealth, but that's part of it.
Yeah.
So what are the most popular New Year's resolutions that people have, Amy? I saw you had an awesome list of...
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you certainly did.
For 2024, the top New Year's resolutions, and this is from YouGov, which is a US-based survey company, 48% are improve fitness. Mm-hmm. And if you're thinking, the 6 weeks of that actually lasts for, it's pretty staggering numbers. 38% are improve finances, 36% improve mental health, 34% lose weight, and 32% improve diet. They're the largest, 6 goals.
So really, in that top 5, it's they're all intertwined completely.
Yeah.
If you're stressed about finances, mental health's not going to be great.
No.
If your diet's not right, you're not going to improve fitness or lose weight. It's the whole lot. So that's, I suppose, where this chat is very much financial / well-being in general.
Yeah.
And get the finances right, other things can be right. Get the fitness right and the diet somewhere right.
Yeah.
All the things flow.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot before about, when you've got the old male retired man in the room, the one that just watches their one goal, which is to accumulate wealth, and then that affects their mood all the time, and then that affects their relationship with their partner, and it affects them having fun, going on holidays, making memories.
Yes.
And it just all snowballs on top of each other until, when does it stop, and when does that bad habit of checking stop to then allow all these other things to unravel and become good again?
Yeah, and obviously my advice when it comes to those guys, it's mostly men that do it, where they're checking the portfolio all the time. I become a little bit more blunt, a little bit more cheeky, and I say, look, how do we stop the volatility, or it's down? And I just say, it's easy. Don't look.
Yeah.
Let the businesses do what they do.
Yeah.
Stop looking, and the volatility will disappear. The problem is the news doesn't help.
No.
The news is bad. The sky is falling.
Unsubscribe. Don't check. Yeah.
And even after the bear market that we've had, the news has been so bad that people are coming in for their reviews, expecting that their portfolios will be horrendous, but it's been the exact opposite. And the news is still bad, and always is, and markets recover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't look at your portfolio. There's a good habit to break.
Yeah.
Yep. Very good.
Also had a little bit of research time, and Atomic Habits. It's a book that a lot of people have read and a lot of people have heard about. I'm not sitting on my partner's bedside table. And I thought I'd just grab a little bit out of that for how to create a good habit.
Yes.
And the first part about it is the cue. So step 1 is there will be a cue that makes you want to actually create a good habit.
Yep.
And that is make it obvious. So you obviously want to stop checking the thing because it's affecting your mental health. That cue is making it obvious that you need to change that. The second law of attraction, good habit making, is make it attractive.
Right.
So obviously that's going to benefit the relationship with your spouse, because you will not be upset because you're checking it all the time and it's affecting you. The third law is make it easy. Mm-hmm. So if it is because you've got too much news coming at your face with all the bad negativity all the time, and then that makes you want to check, and then blah, blah, blah.
So turn the news off.
Unsubscribe to the news, stop following it. And then the fourth part is make it satisfying. So hopefully
you just feel better.
And your partner feels better, and it's just a positive place to be.
Yep, very good. Atomic Habits, I think I may have listened to that one rather than read, so not all of it stuck. Who was the author? Was that James Clear?
Yes.
Yep, there you go. Well worth a read. Excellent. Where to next?
It's actually just on the, reading the book, but listening to the book. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Spotify are now letting you listen to 4 hours a week, or 4 hours a month, I believe, for free as part of the premium subscription. Otherwise, you buy the books thereafter. But I know a lot of people struggle to sit down and actually read a book, but it's a very common New Year's resolution. I want to read 4 books a year. Just a great one to throw out there if you want to do it that way.
Fantastic. It's all on Spotify. It's now within the app. I think Apple made it a little bit difficult for them in the last year to make it easy to listen to a book. You had to go to the website, not the app. And people don't live on their desktops anymore. They live on their phones. In talking of phones and I suppose habits, one habit that I would like to reduce is the amount of scrolling I do. I prefer to be creating more, doing more videos, having more fun that way than just mindless scrolling.
Yeah.
Any tips for me,
I think that's a very, very, very common goal. I know as well you can actually get boxes that you put your phone in and you can set a timer of how long you want to be without the phone. It'll just lock. You cannot open it.
Right.
And that's, I don't know, that's very extreme, but that's something I know people do.
Okay.
I listened to a few podcasts that they do.
When you've got sick of yourself scrolling and thought, oh my God, where did that 20 minutes, half an hour go? I've wasted my life for the last 20 minutes. What have you done? Are there apps that can help with that? I suppose there would be.
Yeah, there's, I can't think of what it's called. I'll try and find it and link it in the show notes, but it pops up every time you actually open the app. So if you set, I don't want to go on Instagram, every time you open Instagram, it'll just have a blank screen that says, are you sure you want to do this?
Right.
Just as that 1 second to be mindful and check in and think, oh, maybe I don't, and get out.
And let's say you do want to, and I'm not down putting people watching TikTok or, this short form videos. We are all doing it. It doesn't matter what generation it is. But that can also be a reward after you do some good habits.
Yeah.
Some good downtime, because it's no different to reading the paper or watching the news or watching a show.
Yeah.
It's really it's downtime for the brain. So I'm not trying to portray that it's evil and being the very old man in the room. Cool.
What else have we got?
So from a financial point of view, I think it's worth. I'm always a fan of a end of year audit.
Yep.
Financial audit.
Yeah.
Look at your subscriptions. Now, whilst in isolation, your subscriptions, phone, the streaming services is not much, but start to rack them together.
And the amount that there are now, all the different apps.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
and
huge.
So I have a one-on, one-off policy. So to subscribe to one's got to go.
Yeah. How many are you allowed to have at once, though?
Oh, I didn't make any rules about that one.
Too strict. Don't want to overthink
I suppose, for me, Netflix has been one of the stock standards. And one thing I did with Spotify, I was never a premium subscriber to that. But, my 4 children all had individual subscriptions of $12, $13. Bella, her partner Tom, had his own subscription, and you can get a family package for $20 for 6 people. Yeah. So I do pay for that, and there's 6 people using that, including myself, and that's where I have enjoyed the music. I have enjoyed the audiobooks as well.
That's an easy win.
So instead of them all paying, the equivalent of, $60, I now pay $20 or $23. It went up a bit. Yeah. That's pricing power. That's an important one. That's why Spotify is a very good business. But doing an audit of your streaming, are you using it? Yeah. Yep. You Stan and Binge and all these things, are you using it at the moment? If you're not, get rid of them. You can always come back to them.
Great idea. It's probably a great idea to even go through, you've 12-month statement at the bank and what did it look like 12 months ago? What does it look like now? Yep. Has it improved? Do the same with your debt. Has it gone down the amount maybe you thought it would? Yes. And, what can you do to get that down further if that's your goal throughout the year?
So I think, an audit of your stuff. And that's also, it's pay TV, that's mobile phone plans, all of that. It's really, it just makes you feel better. Yeah. And I think in terms of making sure that, those that don't have an emergency fund, I think that would be a great goal to kick off, where people are building up 2-3 months worth of living expenses. If it costs you $5,000 a month, it'd be great to have 15 grand or
Yes.
20 grand sitting over on the side in an account that does not get touched unless something bad happens.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I think another great way to form that habit and looking into the banks, I'm with NAB for my personal stuff, and that's how I built my emergency fund. But it actually allowed me to gamify it and set the target, set the date, and then it
Right.
would tell me how much each week or month, whatever I wanted to, how much needed to go in there, and I would watch that go in. But then I thought, you know what, I can do this before that date, and then
Yep.
I'd put more money in and then see the number come down.
Okay.
And it just made me want to reach it, and I reached it so much quicker than I had
Right.
planned.
So you're able to set a goal within the app, within
Yep,
National Bank.
Yeah,
So no doubt all the banks would have that as well.
yeah,
Go and play the game
have a look.
for your own benefit. And it's not just about having that emergency fund there.
No, because once you've achieved that,
Yep.
you've hopefully got that habit, and
Yeah.
it does become a little bit fun when there's that
Yeah.
visible picture and the illustration on how to get there, and then you've got that free cash flow. It's not going to that place. Do you want to start an investment account and send it there, or do you want a salary sacrifice? Send it there.
Yep.
It's just such a great habit to build, and it's quite easy to do these days.
Fantastic. And a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think, it can't be understated. Getting your finances right, being in control, and that can be a simple, boring budget.
Yeah.
And budgets don't need to be difficult. They can be really simple. Go to Smart Money. There are templates there. You can work things out, but you don't need to do it to the nth degree.
No.
Every dollar doesn't need to be watched. It doesn't need to be that boring.
No.
There is I'm always an advocate for my, the one calculation budget. There's one thing you need to do. You need to work out when you want to pay your loan off.
Yeah.
Again, go to Smart Money, go to a home loan calculator. What are you putting in now? What do you owe? What's interest rate? What are you putting in? And when will that be paid off? You want to bring that forward so it gives you more time to retirement.
Yeah.
And then whatever that number is, say you want to have retired by 50, so it gives you 15 years of accumulation without debt.
Yeah.
What do you need to put in? Put that extra money in, the calculator will tell you, or a financial advisor will tell you, and what you do with the rest of your money is up to you.
Yeah. Have fun.
I think it's important, obviously, bill shock's always a shocker,
Yeah.
and that is because sometimes, it's great to estimate, and this is looking over your statement, estimate what your total living cost is for a year, and probably the apps for the banks are getting there. They'll be able to do this for you.
Yeah.
They can see the spending habits.
Yeah.
And then break that up into your weekly pay cycle. And then when you're in control, you can relax and you can then focus on fun stuff.
Yeah. I think I've never been like a real nitty gritty, get everything down to the cent budgeter.
Yep.
I'm very much my pay's here, I send it to where I know it needs to go. So I've got my expenses that I know will cover it, and then a little bit extra just in case, so that it can build up for those bigger bills that come forward.
Right.
'Cause
Yep.
it's not always easy as do it for the year, break it into weeks, then each week you'll always have enough in there because, on week 2 you might get the bill for week 6 come forward. So
Fantastic.
it's just doing it, finding your own way to do it, making sure it works, and then whatever's left over is fun, and that might build up, and then you can send that to your investment account or wherever you want to go.
Very good. And we're talking about wellbeing as well, work-life balance. I had a really nice chat with a client yesterday. Got new grandchildren. The first one is 1.5. There's another one coming in January.
Yeah.
Live a reasonable amount, a couple of hours away, but would like to spend more time with the kids.
Yeah.
And it's occurred to me that when these grandchildren are between 0 and sort of 4, 5-ish, before they go to school, it's a pretty precious time.
Yeah.
And it's a time when the grandkids and the family, mum and dad, are not into school runs, they're not playing the sport yet.
Yeah.
So as a grandparent, my client's thinking about 2 days per week might be his long service leave, if she can organise that.
Yeah.
And then get to spend more time when the children are actually still home and not into the family busy.
Yeah. Not at school, not at sports, just home and
Just,
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
fun.
Playgroup.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, that one probably just occurred to me yesterday, that's a really precious time for mums and dads and also grandparents.
yeah, it's a massive help for the mums and dads and can help them keep
Yeah.
achieving their goals and career goals, and
Yep, and
Yeah.
grandparents can be there to help out.
it's brilliant.
Yeah. Very good. What else have you got, Amy?
I haven't actually thought too deeply about what my personal goals will be next year. I think obviously I've tried to form pretty good financial habits being a financial advisor and just continue those, building the business here. Or obviously, you've brought me on as a partner in the past year, so that's definitely going to be one. But have you thought too much about what your next 12 months will look like?
Probably for me, definitely time with family. And obviously I've come up 26 years in the industry. Been self-employed for pretty well all of that. I would definitely grab the time, but I definitely want to make sure that no stone is left unturned in terms of business, and I enjoy these chats. I want to continue that. I want to make sure that when I'm older, I have less regret. And there's some of the things that I'm telling clients at the moment, that your job in retirement is to build the memories to reduce the regret down the track. So I think that's where I just want to keep being creative, keep having fun at work and looking after people. But I want to be able to have the time to be able to go and do stuff. But in terms of what do I change just because we rolled from 23 to 24, for me, I constantly change. In terms of just my habits. And I know
Atomic habits.
They talk about that habit stacking where, my habit stacking, it becomes laborious, but I feel really well because I'm exercise, and I know I've got my finances right, and I know I've got my diet right, my exercise right, and between all that, I don't feel there's anything I need to change as such. But it'll continue to be progressive. And
I think it's important probably to note that some people, look at people that do have really great habits in form and really good routines, and they think, they're so lucky, they're just naturally fit and naturally, organised, but it's actually just them working really hard to better themselves every day, do those habit stacking, and just get it down pat and keep it down pat. It
takes time.
It's not the easiest thing.
I'm 51 now, and it's taken years to sort of probably get to this. I'm probably fitter now when I was playing Aussie rules back in the day. I wish I had the emotional intelligence and maturity back when I was 22. When I was younger and fitter, but no looking back, no regret. Fantastic. All right, we might have a crack at one more episode next week before we close and have a couple of weeks off, which will be awesome.
Definitely.
Cool. Thanks very much for listening. Please check out our YouTube channel for those who are listening on Spotify or Podbean or wherever you're listening from. There is nearly 600 videos there. I've kicked off, again, this is part of my no regret strategy, a TikTok channel. And
what's it called?
Well, it's not exactly viral. It's just my name, Rob Gowdy. It'll be there as financial advisor, but slightly different format, but similar sort of thing. It's about retirement. It's about personal finance and investing, and just my thoughts on all those things and everything in between.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
See ya.